Nice to meet you, Mark.
Pleasure to meet
We've
you,
never
sir.
spoken before. It's a pleasure to be here and back in my hometown and address this august body. I have a letter of introduction that I want to read first, because even though I'm older than Joe Biden, I still have a pretty good memory. Quite a bit older than Joe Biden. So anyway, I filed the paperwork to be the precinct committeeman for Greendale 1. I live on Ridge Avenue in Greendale. I am a lifelong Republican. And by the way, I have copies of this if anyone would like to have it. And I've supported every Republican candidate since I voted for Barry Goldwater in 1964. How many of you remember that? I was born in Switzerland County in 1940. Both my maternal and paternal families have lived in southeastern Indiana, Switzerland, Ohio, and Dearborn counties for over 200 years. We moved to Lawrenceburg from Switzerland County right after my dad was injured in World War II. And he worked for Seagram's for 42 years. So I was raised here. I graduated from Lawrenceburg High School, class of '58, and I enlisted in the United States Air Force when I was 17. The majority of my Air Force career was as an emergency actions controller in military command centers. And the last 9 years at Headquarters USAFE and Headquarters SAC at the underground facility in Omaha. I retired from the Air Force with 21 years of active duty and 3 years of reserve time. I served in Vietnam in 1967 and 68 during the Tet Offensive. And during my Air Force career, I held a top secret crypto clearance, attended the following universities: Wyoming, Maryland, Indiana, and the Community College of the Air Force. And following my retirement from the Air Force, I studied computer engineering and business. I was employed by the Westinghouse Corporation from 1985 to 96, and they sent me all over the country. I was originally a computer security manager, then a telecommunications manager, and finally an emergency operations manager. Beginning in 1994, Westinghouse and the Department of Energy offered me an opportunity to spin out my own company from Westinghouse. During that transition period, they sent me to the Harvard School of Business, where I majored in entrepreneurship. The spin-out was initialized in April 1996 under the name of Emergency Services Integrators, and within 5 years, we emerged as the industry leader, the global industry leader. As the founder and chief executive design engineer, I served as president and CEO. The company was acquired by the Intermedics Corporation, I'm almost done, by the way, in December 2012. And today, our crisis information management software continues to be the global leader, and in fact, it's used by 45 different states, including Indiana, and every major federal agency responsible for emergency management and homeland defense. Upon retirement, we moved to Breckenridge, Colorado, where we continue to live until the restoration of our property on Ridge Avenue, which was a 3-year historic restoration process. It's on the corner of Broadway Street and Ridge, across from the Heroes Memorial, which, by the way, has a plaque for my uncle, who is in the Indiana Military Hall of Fame. Upon retirement, I am a member of the following organizations: the American Legion, the Vietnam Veterans Association, the Sons of the American Revolution, the Dearborn County Historical Society, Indiana Landmarks, the Ohio County Historical Society, the Switzerland County Historical Society, and Hill Forest Interval. My hobbies are retired racing greyhounds, American history, Abraham Lincoln, and I know that comes as a shock to you, and historic restoration. twice each year, I grow a beard and dye my hair. I'm like this guy here. And I make public appearances as Abraham Lincoln for the Historical Society and in celebration of Lincoln's birthday and President's Day. So that's, you kind of caught me between engagements with this short notice meeting that we're having today. And so I left my stovepipe out in the car because I didn't want to create too much of a stir. But I am, the rest of the outfit is here. Okay, so I'm a lifelong Republican, and I'm under oath, and I recognize that. So every single word I'm telling you is true to the best of my ability. I have never voted anything but Republican. However, as Mark apparently has pointed out, I was shocked to find out I was being challenged, for one thing. I found that out on Friday, that I was being challenged. And since it was a weekend coming up, and yesterday was President's Day, I made no attempt to reach out to anyone because it was a weekend and a holiday, and I felt no need to do that. But until then, I had no idea that anyone would challenge my qualifications. Okay, now to explain my voting record. The record will show that in the last primary, I voted a complete ballot, which is really not any kind of a infraction. I am a registered Republican. I voted Republican in the previous primary, but the last time I voted a complete ballot because there was a very important candidate that I did not want to lose to a Democrat. And so I met Ryan Good a couple of years ago when he was working with Main Street Greendale. And then later, Ryan and I served on another committee together for the Greendale's Christmas on the Avenue, where we opened up the historic homes to people that come in to raise money for the Dearborn County Historical Society. Ryan Good is a fine man. He ran, I'm presuming, we didn't actually have this conversation. Ryan is a pastor at a prominent church. In fact, my home church, where I was confirmed in 1951 or 1952, Hamlet Chapel, across the street here. He's a pastor to Democrats, Republicans, and probably everything but atheists. Probably not a pastor to atheists. Ryan was seeking the city council seat in District 1 in Greendale. He was not opposed by a Republican, but he was opposed by a Democrat. And knowing that people vote straight tickets a lot, particularly around here, I was very concerned about his ability to get elected because all the Democrats were going to vote for his opponent that voted straight tickets. The Republicans were not even going to see him on the ballot. And so I talked to a lot of people to get them to get a full ballot so they could vote for Vince and vote for all the other Republican candidates, but also vote for Ryan because he's a fine man and a hard worker and he deserved to be elected. So the record does show that in that occasion, I pulled a full ballot so I could vote for Ryan Good. He was elected by the narrowest margin that we had, a handful of votes. And I don't take credit for that, but I think I had a role to play there because I voted for him and I convinced a lot of other people to not vote a straight ticket so they could vote for Ryan, and he did get elected. So he is now our council representative. So that's the end of my presentation. I'm sure there's some minutes I can yield to Mark for rebuttal, but I will say that the tone of this event today does give anyone asking a question the sense that they're swimming upstream. that they're swimming against a current that is immovable. My reasons are true, and my reasons are solid and sound. And they certainly aren't anything that would denigrate the Republican Party or take away from the process, the election process that we have. Another thing to consider, I'm not running for elected office. I'm running as a nominee for a precinct committee position. Okay, so I yield to